All in Sports Network. We love sports.
It is Thursday, December 4th, right here on your daily fix for all things Texas Longhorns. And this is going to be Jake and I's conference championship preview episode, and an episode in which the Longhorns are not playing on championship weekend. Unfortunately, it's been a couple of years since that has happened, but the Longhorns not playing on championship weekend, their season not over. They still have a bowl game, and I'll be interested to see who they draw for that. But Jake, we can even start with some Friday games. With this game, this episode probably going to go by fairly quickly. We'll go through the games, and we'll obviously pick the lines and the over-unders and kind of give our little 2 cents about if this happened, then what should happen with the college football playoffs. But I don't imagine this episode taking too long. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it. The G5 Conference Championship games on Friday, other than Miami of Ohio and Western Michigan. They will play Saturday as well. But let's start with North Texas at Tulane, the American Conference. Essentially, here's how they've decided to do the G5 bid for the college football playoffs. They pick their favorite G5 conference, and they say whoever wins that conference is going to get the bid for the G5. It doesn't matter which team. Like last year, it was whoever's going to win the Mountain West, that's who's going to get the G5. This year, whoever wins the American is going to get that G5 spot. So it comes down to North Texas and Tulane. These two teams, trying to look real quickly if they played over the regular season. They did not play during the regular season. So you've got Tulane and North Texas. It'll be played at Tulane, and Tulane is a 3-point dog going into this one, opening up with North Texas being the favorites to win. And then the spread actually sitting now at 2.5 points. Over under at 66.5. I think you absolutely have to nail that over, Jake. That's just too fun of a number not to try to hit on in a conference championship game, and what has ultimately been the best G5 conference all season long.
Yeah. I do think James Madison has a really good argument to be in. I just think the committee has shown that they just prefer the American Conference, like you mentioned. For this game, I think I honestly like North Texas. They obviously lost that big game to South Florida earlier in the year where they really let it get out of hand in the second half. I just don't understand why Tulane would be the playoff choice right now, considering they got blown out by a bad UTSA team. And I don't, they didn't have to play USF, so they really haven't played anyone all that good in their conference schedule as well. They got blown out by Ole Miss earlier in the year. I don't think this Tulane team, I think there's a reason why North Texas is favored in this game, despite not being the current choice by the committee and not being, which I don't know why they wouldn't be the choice for the committee over Tulane as it sits right now if you're just going to put an American team in, because Tulane lost to a bad UTSA team. North Texas lost to USF. That's their only loss.
Yeah, and USF, that was when USF was playing its hottest football of the season. I mean, I think they were a one-loss team at that point.
And it was just the second half. It just got out. It was a close game at halftime. North Texas just kind of had a disastrous third quarter.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think North Texas wins this game. I like the over, like you mentioned. North Texas is one of the highest scoring offenses in all of college football. Their coach is finishing out the season with North Texas before he goes. Can you find that? Or I can try to find it as well. He has accepted a position somewhere. But yeah, I like North Texas in this game. I think they'll cover. And I think they'll ultimately be the team that makes the playoff. Oklahoma State, there we go.
Yeah.
But he is finishing the year. Yeah, good hire by Oklahoma State. But yeah,
doesn't it fit Oklahoma State's brand? Just an offensive juggernaut, and they just are like, hey, let's go back to scoring 50 points a game. If we allow 48, we still win. Like, that's okay. We can live with that.
Yeah, at least it'll be exciting, which is better than what it's been.
Yes,
Most exciting
absolutely.
thing that's happened to Oklahoma State football in the last 2 years has been a bunch of dudes taking their shirts off. So, am I wrong?
You're not wrong. It became a college football craze. Every student section in the country were started doing it. So, but yeah, Jake, give me North Texas in this game. Give me the over, and I mean a 2.5 point spread. Obviously, I'll take the North Texas spread as well if I'm going to take them outright. So, yeah, give me North Texas to win this game, and give me North Texas as the 12 seed in the college football playoffs. And yes, I agree. If Tulane wins this game, James Madison should be the G5 team that gets it. It shouldn't be, but it won't be. All right, let's head to Saturday's game, Jake. The Big 12 championship, BYU taking on Texas Tech. That is the first slated noon or 11 o'clock kickoff for the Big 12 championship game. Excited to see this one play out. I think Texas Tech is a much better team. I think BYU is a very well-coached team, and so I think it's absolutely crazy that they're 12.5 point underdogs in this game. Give me BYU to cover. Give me Texas Tech to win outright. The over-under sitting at 50.5. I'll take the under in this game. I actually think that's a lot of points. I think these two defenses pretty solid. I don't think anyone's just going to be able to score on Texas Tech willy-nilly, and I think BYU's defense is strong enough to hold Texas Tech's offense. But give me them Cougars to cover.
Yeah, we've seen this game this year. It wasn't a very good or exciting game. It was just Texas Tech kind of blowing the doors off of BYU. I think this is a terrible matchup for BYU. I think Texas Tech covers, and I like the under as well. But yeah, I don't think this will be a particularly competitive game. I just think Texas Tech has a better roster by a large margin than anyone else in the Big 12, and I think that'll show in this game. The Big 12 should be a one bid lead. I know the BYU football account tweeted out it'd be a disservice for BYU not to be in the playoff. I actually think it'd be a disservice for them to be in the playoff. They don't have, I guess Utah is their quality win by far. Their next best win would be like Cincinnati.
I thought Utah was an extremely overrated team all season long.
Yes, you and I were both on the Utah is overrated train. Now they're 10-2, but the Big 12 was down this year. The Big 12 wasn't as good as it was last year or the year before that. This is, to me, is the most down the Big 12 has been in some time outside of this Texas Tech team. So I like Tech to win big.
All right, Jake, rematch of the century. We've got Georgia taking on Alabama. If Kirby Smart has success against Alabama, it typically comes in SEC championship games. Alabama already getting the notch with a win over Georgia on the road earlier this season. Alabama currently sitting as the underdogs going into this game. Georgia 2.5 point favorites. Over under set at 47.5. I'll let you take the first jab at this game.
Yeah, I mean Kirby Smart's beaten Alabama once, or is it twice?
I think twice.
And they lost the last SEC championship game when they were pretty heavy favorites. The year that Texas had beat Bama, and then Bama ended up making the playoff because they beat Georgia. I just like I refuse to pick Texas to beat Georgia because you got to prove it to me. I don't think Georgia winning, 2 out of the 10 matchups or whatever it is that Kirby Smart's had against Alabama, which he hasn't beaten DeBoer's Alabama, by the way, which hasn't even been as good as Saban's Alabama.
Nope.
So you got to prove it to me. I don't even think Georgia should be favorited in this game. Are they the better team? Yes. But have they consistently lost to Alabama? Yes. So give me Alabama to win this one outright. Give me the over from the 47.5. But yeah, I like Alabama in this game. You got to, just like Texas got to prove it that they can beat Georgia. I will pick Georgia to win every single matchup against Texas until Texas beats Georgia. I will pick Alabama to win every single matchup against Georgia until I see Kirby Smart and Georgia take them down.
I think both of these two teams' defense have taken a step back from previous years of what we've seen.
They've also played a lot better as of late. both defenses.
I will give you that. But I also think they've been just an overall step back, just in general, just broad picture, step back from what we've seen in previous years. When Georgia won back-to-back national championships, this Georgia defense is not that defense. Alabama obviously doesn't have the talent and the defenses that they had under Nick Saban. So whenever it comes to that, I think defensively these two teams very similar. I do think Alabama has a better quarterback. I think that's a pretty important part of college football, and football in general. So I give the edge to Ty Simpson. I do think Georgia has a more established running game, and I think that could hurt Alabama in this game if Georgia can establish the run game. But I do think Alabama has better weapons on the outside. I also think they have a better offensive line. I'm going to take Alabama as well in this game. I'm going to take them outright as the underdogs, and I too do love the over in this game at 47.5. I just think that is just screaming Tanner Pound the over right now. So that is the afternoon game. And then the game that you and I have all been waiting for, Virginia Duke. Just kidding. Indiana at Ohio State. They'll be playing at Indianapolis in Lucas Oil Stadium. And Ohio State going to be favored in this one. Indiana 4.5-point dogs in this one with the over-under at 48.5. I actually am going to just hammer the under in this game. I don't think anybody can score that many points on Ohio State. And Indiana, as of later in the season, their offense hasn't been clicking as much. And I just think Ohio State can control this game and keep the ball away from Indiana if they need to. I don't think that there will be a ton of points in this game. So give me Ohio State to cover the spread. Give me a 10-point game, and I'll say 24-14.
Yeah, you're saying you don't think anyone can score on Ohio State. That's because no one has scored on Ohio State. They're giving up 7.8 points a game. 16 is the most they've given up this year. That was to Illinois earlier in the season. Outside of that, the most points they've given up was 14 to Penn State and then 10 or less against everyone else. Pretty historic run by this Ohio State defense this year. And they have all the talent to back it up. It's not just a schedule thing or whatever. Their defense is that good. Yeah, I think Ohio State. I mean, I'll tell you right now, I have Ohio State going undefeated this year and winning the national championship. I just don't think there's a team that's better or more consistent than they are. I think your only hope to beat them is to make a lot of mistakes, which is possible. We haven't seen it. Seems possible. Haven't seen it. And I don't think we will see it. He has 30 touchdowns and 5 picks on the year. Yeah, I mean, Ohio State just got – the only thing I could say is I could see Indiana winning this game just because Ohio State, coming off the big emotional win, finally got the monkey off their back in Michigan. Maybe that cost them. But I'm going to still take Ohio State just because I think they're a better team.
Betting against Kirk Cignetti, never a great idea. I don't recommend doing it. It typically doesn't work out.
Google it.
All you got to do is Google it, and all he does is win. I've picked against Indiana multiple times, and I've been chapped in the ass for it. So, again,
I do think Indiana is a legit team this year. I think they might be the second best team in the country. I just think Ohio State is a tier above everyone.
Yeah, I think they're head and shoulders above Georgia, Alabama. You name the team, I think they're head and shoulders better than they are. So, yeah, no, I agree. I'm going to give Ohio State a 10-point win over Indiana in Indianapolis. All right, Virginia, Duke, it's going to be at Charlotte. This game, Jake, one of these two teams is making the playoffs.
The ACC needs to step in and not allow this to happen. You got to go by ranking or something. It's jokes aside, it's actually unacceptable that a 7-5 team could be playing for the ACC championship when you have Miami sitting there. It should be Miami, Virginia. It's that simple.
I've never understood, Jake, why they don't do this in every conference. If you have a tie in your conference and you don't have a head-to-head to separate the tie, why it just doesn't fall back on your overall schedule.
Yeah,
So, like,
or
if you have two
rankings
teams,
or anything that keeps Duke out of an ACC championship game at 7-5.
why is it that Duke gets the tiebreaker over Miami? It should go your tiebreaker standing should go head to head to establish a tiebreaker. If that's the case, then if you don't have a head to head, then you go based on conference record. If your conference record is level, then you go by overall record. That seems like a pretty standard, normal way to determine who had the better season and who was more deserving. And that would also put Miami and Virginia in this ACC championship game. Um, anyway, Duke is underdogs in this game by 3.5 points, and over under set at 57.5. Jake, give me Virginia and give me Virginia big. I hope they come out and embarrass them.
For the
Just for
love of the sanctity of the college football playoff, Virginia has to win this game.
yeah.
If a 5-loss Duke team gets in, it should disqualify any other ACC team from getting in.
It should not only disqualify any other ACC team, it should disqualify the ACC's spot in the playoff entirely.
This matchup makes
I
me
don't
reconsider.
I think people, by the way, have completely been sworn by the fact that Texas could get in with 3 losses and not win their conference. That you haven't even discussed the possibility of Duke getting into these playoffs. I haven't heard not one person
I
complain
have
about
not
it.
heard
And
near
I
enough national conversation
and,
about
and
the fact that this could happen.
and I don't think people even have processed in their mind that Duke could get in with 5 losses. I don't think that's been a thought in people's head.
It has been a big thought in my head because it has made me I've always thought that the automatic qualifier for conference champions should be a thing. This makes me rethink that. It's
This
that
makes
bad.
this makes me rethink how conferences should divvy up their tie-breaking rules.
That's fine. You do one or the other. You either get rid of the automatic bid or outside of the G5. The G5, and I get it, people don't want a lot of people don't want the G5 team to be in. I think unless the only way that I'm cool with the G5 not getting in is if they get their own separate league. And it's separated. You have just the power
their own
conferences,
national
and you have
championship.
G5, and they're separate.
Yeah.
That is the only. Otherwise, I think you have to respect the fact that it is still college football at the end of the day. But you either get rid of the automatic power conference championship bids, because if you win your conference, you're probably good enough to get in anyways, and at least that would eliminate these types of situations where a 7-5 Duke team could get in, or you change the way that who is in your conference championship works. That's probably the easier or better way to go about it. But one of those has to change, because the fact that it's even a opportunity for Duke to get, and it could happen. There's a reason Virginia is only a 3.5 point favorite against a 5-loss team. Virginia's not a very good football team. Yeah, give me Virginia for the sanctity of the college football playoff.
For anybody who is curious, how did this happen? You may ask. So Duke has 2 losses in the conference. They lost to Georgia
Wake
Tech.
Forest.
They lost to Georgia Tech and to
Oh, wait.
Virginia. They
Yeah, I
lost.
was looking at Virginia. Sorry.
Yeah, they lost to Virginia 34-17 already earlier this season. They lost to UConn in the non-conference 37-34 in the middle of the season, by the way. And then they lost to Tulane 34-27. They lost to Illinois 45-19. Put them at 7-5 overall on the season. With those 2 losses coming to Virginia, which they got smacked by, and a Georgia Tech team who is also currently sitting ahead of them in the standings, if you just look at the standings, with a better overall record. So why they're in this game is your guess is as good as mine, and the ACC needs to figure out how they're going to divvy up tiebreakers moving forward, because this is a disgrace. It's sickening to watch, and I think the ACC should be embarrassed as a conference.
Yeah, I could live if it was Georgia Tech at 9-3 with one of those losses being to Georgia, and it would make my preseason prediction and my bet have a chance. Miami by far makes. I mean, it should be Miami, Virginia, pretty plainly put. I mean, Miami has 3 more wins than Duke.
Yep.
And they're not. It just makes no sense. And like you said, it's a disgrace.
Yep. All right, Jake, let's go ahead, wrap this thing up, and we'll put a bow on it. And again, we will have a reaction episode after Saturday following the games, just to kind of recap everything and talk through everything and see what we think the college football playoffs are going to look like moving forward after conference weekend. So just a fun little episode that Jake and I will probably be eager to talk about. So that'll come Saturday. And then, we'll see you then. That's Jake Jimerson. I'm Tanner Carlson. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, hook 'em.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.